Harga batu bara acuan Indonesia turun 7% lebih. Apakah ini menjadi sinyal windfall komoditas akan berakhir? Kami akan mengulasnya bersama dengan Dileep Srivastava, Direktur dan Sekretaris Perusahaan Bumi Resources, dan juga Muhammad Arif, Sekjen Asosiasi Pemasok Energi dan Batubara Indonesia, Aspebindo. Good afternoon, Mr. Dileep, and selamat sore, Pak Arif, apa kabar?
Selamat sore, kabar.
Oke, saya akan ke Pak Dileep terlebih dahulu. Mr. Dileep, as we know, the war of Russia and Ukraine is still ongoing. So what causes coal prices that move farther away from their record highs recorded in this middle of this year?
Well, if we look at coal prices, they were at $48 per ton in 2016. And if we look at 2021, they were running well below $100. But even before the Ukraine crisis, there was an energy crisis. And the gas prices had started hitting the roof even last year.
Okay.
And then when we look at Indonesia, we've had very heavy rains from December 21, which still continue, which is hampering output. We ourselves have lost about 12% output. Now, what this basically means is that if you superimpose the Ukraine war, it basically means Russia has dried up supplies to the EU. They are looking at alternative friendly markets like China and India, which are Indonesia's traditional markets for low-ranked coal. And as far as high-ranked coal, it is in very tight supply. So when we talk about prices, basically we are looking at the supply-demand connect. And we are also looking at alternate energy prices. Now, earlier, fossil fuels, which is largely gas and coal, they could actually compete. And depending upon where the prices were, people were beginning to switch or to use it temporarily. But right now, the gas prices have hit the roof, and it is uneconomical to use gas in place of coal at these current levels. And our estimate is that if the Ukraine war continues, and if EU continues to face supplies, and if the winter continues to be extremely severe, we think the gas prices can rise. I think there are issues on LNG, and I think OPEC is controlling production. So oil prices can remain at elevated levels. And if oil and gas remain at elevated levels, I think coal will continue to remain at elevated levels as well. Now, we shouldn't read too much into temporary movements, in the spot coal prices. I think that's more a function of stock. That is more a function of supply. That is more a function of demand. It's a function of what energy feedstock is more economical to use and what is best to use. So I would say that the best thing to look at is that 4 or 5 years ago, the price was $48 for coal. Last year, it was below 100. This year, it has spiked. And we think whether it is 400, whether it is 450, even if coal reaches $500 per ton, it is still more economic to use coal at present prices of gas and alternate fuels. Now, that's my view on this. So we are not really unduly concerned or disturbed about the temporary movement in the prices up and down. If the winter is very severe, and if the Russian ports get frozen out, and if gas becomes a problem in Europe, I'm afraid we are again going to see a spike in demand.
Okay.
Renewables will not be able to do it, particularly in winter, and I'm talking solar as well as wind. And if they cannot do it, and if gas cannot do it and is unaffordable, there is no other alternate feedstock that actually can meet the demand for power as easily as coal. But unfortunately, coal supply is not available. Coal is in short supply. And coal will remain in short supply for the next 5 years, 10 years, or even more, because no capacity increase is taking place. So in this period, you will see that whenever there is a problem with alternate feedstock for power, it will always be coal that will draw demand. And there'll be increased requests for that. And even in Indonesia, we have noticed the same trend, which is from December last year, we had very heavy rains. And from January, we had an export ban. Now, what the export ban basically did just before the Ukraine war was further excite the energy market. The coal prices started going up. And when the Ukraine war hit, that was like putting oil in the frying pan. And energy prices and coal prices just went shooting through the roof. So if we are looking at forward curves of the experts, we are seeing that the high-ranked coal prices are likely to remain around levels of 300 plus for the next year or two at least. The problem that can come really temporarily is the low-ranked and the medium-ranked coals, where China and India are drawing supplies from Russia. China and India are increasing production. And Indonesia has a lot of low-ranked coal, maybe about 70%, 75% of the coal that Indonesia produces is low-ranked coal.
Okay.
And if China increases, and if India increases, and if Russia also supplies to these two countries, it can put a pressure on the low-ranked and medium-ranked coal demand, which is why today you are seeing that the discount to the benchmark, to the low-ranked coal prices are increasing. But in winter, the whole situation can change. So let us see how things go.
Okay, we already got your notes, Mr. Dileep. I will move to Mr. Arif. Mas Arif, kalau tadi Pak Dileep mengatakan kalau harga batu bara yang melemah ini masih cukup tinggi dibandingkan dengan harga batu bara tahun lalu dan juga seiring dengan permintaan batu bara dari negara-negara Eropa, apalagi jika musim dingin ini akan diperparah begitu. Artinya batu bara ini masih akan demandnya masih cukup tinggi. Tapi sebetulnya pandangan Anda apa sih yang membuat harga batu bara ini semakin jauh dari level tertingginya di tahun ini yang bahkan sempat menyentuh level di atas $400 per ton?
Ya, jadi kalau kita perhatikan ya, sebenarnya sebelum perang Rusia dan Ukraina, harga batu bara juga sudah spike up ya, jadi sudah lumayan tinggi. Karena memang antara Australia dan China, mereka juga ada perang dagang di mana memang China stop membeli batu bara dari dari Australia. Jadi memang Indonesia menjadi salah satu produsen yang menjadi top of mind di market-market tradisional kita seperti di China dan India. Dan ditambah lagi setelah adanya stop ekspor, harga batu bara kembali naik karena perang Rusia dan Ukraina, krisis di Eropa. Jadi ini sebenarnya memang sangat-sangat momentum yang sangat-sangat all time high bagi batu bara, dan ke depan pun sebenarnya batu bara ini stoknya akan sangat-sangat makin menipis gitu. Jadi ini sebenarnya simple supply demand, di mana demand batu bara ini kembali naik, tapi supply-nya ini sendiri yang sangat scarce gitu di sisi supply. Jadi memang saya rasa walaupun dari sisi Eropa sendiri sudah mulai mendapat supply gas, even sebelum ada krisis di Eropa pun sebenarnya batu bara ini sudah di angka yang sangat tinggi gitu. Jadi kalau saya lihat sih ini kondisi harga batu bara ini masih akan stabil di angka yang tinggi ya untuk harga internasional.
Di level berapa Anda melihatnya, Mas Arif?
Estimasi kan kemarin kan memang sekitar all time high 400 sampai 300, jadi mungkin sepanjang tahun mungkin masih di around angka segitu ya. Selama memang kondisi geopolitik masih seperti sekarang dan juga kondisi Australia dan China juga masih seperti sekarang.
Oke, jadi meskipun mengalami pelemahan, tapi level-level supportnya masih di kisaran di atas $300 per ton. Saya akan kembali ke Mr. Dileep. Mr. Dileep, as we know that the coal price has declined, even though it's still higher compared to last year, but will the lower coal and last 1 month later, recently, will reduce the company's profit in this final quarter of this year?
No, I don't think it will make a difference this quarter.
So how do
Because
you
if you're looking at spot prices, they take effect after 3 months or 4 months.
So how is your target about the margins in regards to the coal price is still higher than the last year?
We've already guided an average price. Please remember, we are the largest supplier of coal to PLN and for the DMO in the country. So when we are talking price, we must factor in the account that we are supplying and are the largest supplier to PLN. So whatever price we say and we report is a mix of export prices and the domestic prices that we realize. So we have reported $119 per ton at the end of the third quarter, and we expect $120 to $130 dollars per ton for the fourth quarter. And depending upon the rain, we can do 18 million tons, we can do 20 million tons. And if it's 20 million tons, it'll be higher than quarter three. Quarter three was higher than quarter two. Quarter one was lower than quarter two. In other words, we have been increasing production, although the rain is not showing signs of stopping.
It's interesting to talk about
I think
the
our
DMO,
challenge really
Dileep.
is to how to increase output, how to increase production.